Social media influencer Mahek Bukhari had more than 120,000 followers on TikTok, where she shared regular fashion updates, occasionally appearing with her mother Ansreen Bukhari. Mahek was becoming a well-known TikToker, who was known to her followers as Maya and was earning an income through brand promotions, with parties and product launch events up and down the country. Ansreen and Saqib first began chatting online in 2019, through video app Azar. They exchanged numbers and were soon talking every day. The relationship was on and off, but lasted about 3 years. Ansreen was flattered by the interest Saqib showed in her. He said they met numerous times, in hotels, restaurants and shisha lounges, but in 2021, the relationship started to turn sour. Ansreen tried to break it off, and Saqib was upset. Struggling to deal with her rejection, he pleaded with her to reconsider. Things escalated, until Saqib threatened to send explicit material of his ex-lover to her husband. At the end of that year, Ansreen cracked and told her daughter everything. But instead of going to police about the blackmail, Mahek decided to take matters into her own hands. Knowing the family of Saqib and having been with them throughout, I know they would have dealt with Saqib and stopped him from doing what he was doing. If the Bukharis would have spoken to the police, this would not have happened. It would not have got to this stage. In a bid to help her mother, Mahek turned to her friend, car mechanic Reckon Karwan. The pair plotted to lure Saqib to a meeting by offering to hand over £3,000. This was the amount of money he'd complained he spent on Ansreen while they were lovers. Reckon enlisted the help of his best friend, Rais Jamal, as well as Rais' cousin Amir Jamal, and other friends Sanif Gulu Mustafa, Natasha Akhtar and Muhammad Patel. In the early hours of the 11th of February 2022, the group arrived at a Tesco supermarket in Leicester and waited for Saqib. The plan was to ambush him. In Banbury, Saqib's hometown, he was trying to arrange a lift to get to Leicester. He asked a few friends. One of them, Hashim Ijazuddin, offered to drive him. Hashim doesn't know anything that's going on, he's a friend of Saqib's and he just agreed to drive Saqib to Leicester on the night in question, totally innocently. Det Inspi Parish said. He knew none of the defendants, knew nothing about what's going on and in some respects is probably the only person who is at the wrong place at the wrong time. Saqib and Hashim arrived at the Tesco car park at 1:17 Greenwich Mean Time. They slowed down and waited for a few seconds, but sensed something was wrong. They quickly left the scene, but their Skoda was followed by 2 cars, a blue Seat Leon, driven by Rais, and an Audi TT with Reckon behind the wheel. Mahek and Ansreen's trial heard they were passengers in the Audi. At this point, police knew from phone records that Mahek called Saqib. It gets quite heated, but we never know what is said. But words are exchanged. 1 minute after this conversation, Saqib called 999. He told the operator he was a passenger in a car that was being followed. He said the car behind was trying to ram him off the road. The frantic call lasted about 5 minutes as Saqib and Hashim continued down the dual carriageway, going through a red light in an effort to lose their pursuers. One of the first things he talks about is being blocked in, and sure enough, the footage from a car dealership clearly shows the car being blocked in with a vehicle in front trying to brake and stop the car. You can hear on the call Saqib say to Hashim, send it, which is an indication to Hashim for them to just go and get out of here, we don't like what's happening. At that point, you can clearly imagine the fear and worry that's going through their minds, the fact they've gone through a red light and they're still being followed.
Car that's coming on the right hand side, a Leon, Seat Leon, don't know the model or anything, but it was blue, comes straight down, no speed, nothing, normal on the right hand side. We were always on the left hand side. This right hand side car's come now, the Leon, this is the blue one, has come straight next to me and come right in front of me, not very close. I've always said to myself, I'm a very good driver when it comes to this. I've been driving for 5 years, 45 years, and I've said to myself, always keep a 2 to 3 second rule gap, always, when I've said to myself, always done that. So this car's come not close, I've always braked. So I was doing 60, it was 70, I think it was 70 on the dual carriage or 60, I was doing 50 straight away, went back, went to 50 to 60, went back. This car didn't do anything to me. I don't know who, just a normal car going on the right to the left. This silver car, I don't know which brand it was, model. It's come zooming down. I've kept this 2 to 3 second rule gap, and the blue Leon's in front. I'm at the back. This silver car's come and cut into the middle, so we're basically all 3 cars very close. I braked and I said to my mum, what is this car trying to do? And my mum saying, May, just keep your distance. Everything's going to be okay. It's okay. Just a reckless few people just reckless because they know it's all the way down. If there's any cameras, there's going to be cameras. They must know there's no cameras. So they've gone all the way down. They've cut into my car. I've kept my distance. I've braked. I think got to at least 40 because there was no cars behind me. Going to 40. This car was not threatening me, but agitating the blue car. So the blue car went onto the right lane, which is the overtaking lane, and the silver car went onto the right lane with the same car as the blue. So then the blue car went onto the left, and the silver car kept to the left, and it was just harassing. Like the blue car was trying to let you go, like go, you can go now because I'm letting you go. But this silver car was not letting the blue car go. So I was thinking, okay, well, they're not agitating me, they're not trying to put me off my driving. I'm going on my left lane. I'm further away from these cars. So like I said, they were doing their own thing. I've gone past on the right lane now. The blue car's in front always, the silver car was behind. I've gone past and I've gone further away from this car on the left side, and then the blue car has caught up with me on the right side. I don't know who they are. I didn't even see the silver car as well. And the silver car, all I hear is like a you can hear like a bang, but not a big bang. It was like you hit behind me, basically. The silver car's hit the blue car at the back, like a touch, but you can tell the blue car has gone a bit faster. So I've looked at my mum and I goes, Mum, what is going on? What is wrong with, are they, I don't know if they're drunk, what are they trying to do to this blue car in general? So my mum goes, May, like I said, leave it. You're not involved. You don't know what's going on. You just go straight on and leave it. I goes, okay, that's fine. This blue car's gone straight now, and this silver car's gone behind. And as soon as I said, Mum, as soon as we see a slip road, we're gonna go to a slip road. We've gone forward, and the silver car's hit the back of the blue car. The blue car, see it, like Leon's gone, completely gone. As soon as I've turned around, this silver car's gone. Out from I didn't see. All I've seen is they've hit, and all I see is right, like a swerve. The silver car swerved to not my side, to the other side of the dual carriageway where the metal bits are, basically. And I didn't see the car after that. I didn't hear a bang. Apparently there was mentioned there was a tree. I didn't see no tree. I didn't see anything. I've gone straight on. I've looked at my mum and I said, Mum, what? I was just in shock. She goes, May, there's a slip road.
The families of Saqib and Hashim have asked for the 999 call played in court not to be broadcast. The final moments are extremely distressing. Towards the end, the line goes silent for 10 seconds before the operator asks if Saqib is still there. The call becomes emotional, quite upsetting, and you can hear that they're right behind them, and then screams in quiet, dead Inspi Parish said. Just after 1:30, a recovery driver was traveling along the A46 when he saw a car on fire next to a tree. After realizing no one had called the police, he blocked off the road with his truck. The first police officers arrived about 10 minutes later, closely followed by firefighters. After the fire was put out, one of the police officers saw the bodies of 2 people in the car. Further up the road, the Audi and seat drivers pulled over. Mahek took over as driver of the Audi, and Natasha the seat. Then they headed back to Leicester to lay low. On their way back, they drove past the burning wreckage. Once they arrived in the city, they pulled up in Sutton Place, a quiet cul-de-sac away from prying eyes. The group got out of the cars and began walking the streets. They were spotted at various points at about 2 o'clock, picked up on CCTV as they moved around the area in the cold February darkness. Officers who later secured the footage could not be sure what they were doing, but one theory is that they were preparing a cover story. They then either walked home or were dropped off. Natasha, who was the registered owner of the seat, began her journey back to her home in Birmingham, while the Bukharis headed north to Stoke-on-Trent. Meanwhile, Leicestershire police knew something the group did not. Saqib's 999 call had been passed on to detectives and they had begun scouring automatic number plate recognition (ANPR) cameras. They put out an alert, and 2 officers in the West Midlands spotted Natasha's seat. They began to follow her, and later boxed her in at a petrol station. Before this happened, she called Rais in a panic. She was then arrested and taken into custody. Shortly after 8 o'clock, Mahek and Ansreem were woken at home by the sound of police speaking to Mahek's brother and father. At this point Mahek noticed she had a raft of missed calls from Rais, who knew police had found Natasha. While officers from Staffordshire Police continued to speak to the male members of the house, Mahek called Rais back. She then sent a text to her mother in the next room, explaining what she would say to officers. Dressed in a pink, fluffy oversized hoodie, Mahek lied to police, saying that on the night of the crash, they had been on their way to Nottingham for a social media event. The pair were later arrested and taken to a police station in Leicester. While being interviewed in custody, Mahek continued to lie about what she had been doing that night. But when police played Saqib's 999 call, she appeared taken aback. Instead of conceding defeat, she broke down in tears and said Saqib lies so much, and had manipulated events. The Bukharis and 6 others are later charged with murder. One of those, Muhammad Patel, who was later cleared of all charges, went on to tell police the full story and revealed what happened during the chase. Importantly, he told officers that Rekan and Rais had a phone conversation during the chase about ramming Saqib off the road. On the afternoon of Friday the 4th of August 2023, after a long 18 months of waiting, both the Hussein and Ijazuddin families prepared to find out the fate of those accused of their loved ones' murders. The jury had deliberated for more than 28 hours. Earlier that day, Mahek was seen by reporters outside Leicester Crown Court laughing and waving at them from a precinct balcony. Her confident demeanor was soon gone. She burst into tears as the jury found both mother and daughter guilty of 2 counts of murder. Rekan Karwan and Rais Jamal, the drivers of the 2 cars, were also found guilty of both murders. Natasha Akhtar, Sanif Gula Mustafa and Amir Jamal were each convicted of 2 counts of manslaughter. After the verdict, Saqib's cousin Adil Bahar spoke to the BBC, explaining the pain the families had gone through to reach this point. He said he misses him every day. As we sat in the seats in court and the judge said the jury has come to a verdict, at that point my heart just felt like it was breaking down. I'd do anything to have him back. Speaking at a football tournament organized in Hashem's memory, both of his older brothers paid heartfelt tributes. Muhammad Zahir said, in a short space of his life, he touched so many hearts up and down the country and all over the world.